Welcome back to the catch up here on Chris Cyborg's YouTube channel. I am James Lynch. That is not Chris Cyborg. However, it's one of the new members of the Bellator roster. You're going to be making his Bellator debut June 24th, Bellator 282. It's Aaron Jeffrey here on the program. Aaron, how are you, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing great. We finally can talk about an opponent. I know you sort of knew a little while back, but let's start first with when did you find out about the opponent, about the fight? It looked like you got a lot of notice.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think it was probably like 3 months out when I got the contract. So yeah, I knew the opponent. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to say anything, so I kind of kept quiet. I know some rumors floated around and it got out online, so I think some people have known for a while.
Yeah, well, it's good. Again, you get a full camp for this one, making your big debut. And of course, the last time we spoke, I know you were heading out to Sanford MMA. How was it? Are you still there now, or what's the latest? Where are you right now?
I just got back to Niagara. I've been here since last Thursday. I was down there for just about 4 weeks, and yeah, it was awesome.
That was cool. So who did you mainly get to work with down there at Sanford?
Dude, there's so many guys. It's hard to name them all.
Just name me like two. Who did you get? Like, there's probably at least like two you could name or something.
Brendan Allen, I worked with him quite a bit, which was cool because that was the first time we've really talked since he beat me up a few years back. So it was nice to get to know him. I told him it's nice that I don't have to hate him for the rest of my life now. I realize he's a cool guy, so that was nice. Impa Kasanganay, I worked with him a bunch. He's a good dude. I don't know, Gregory Rodriguez, Ong, the ONE FC middleweight. Yeah, there's so many guys, man.
That's awesome. And like, how much does the confidence level go up when you just mentioned that list? They're all UFC fighters for the most part, guys that are competing at a high level. How good was it to kind of, see where you're at skill wise?
Yeah, it's good, man. I was just talking to my coach about that last night. It's like you trust in the process and you're training hard and doing the right work and everything, but it's like it's hard to prove it to yourself unless you're actually fighting, right? So to go down there and work with so many high level guys, like so many UFC caliber fighters and Bellator and ONE FC and whatever, and know that I'm at that level too, it's definitely a confidence boost.
And I just want to back up a bit. You mentioned, seeing Brendan Allen. Of course, you two fought in Contender Series. What was that first interaction like? Did you go up to him? You're a polite Canadian. I would imagine you initiated.
Yeah, he's good buddies with Tuco. Those two are like holding each other's hands all the time. And I met Tuco last time I was there, so Tuco introduced us. But I think you've talked to Brendan a bunch before too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I know Brendan quite well. I think I've interviewed him since like a second pro fight or something. It's been a while.
Yeah, he's like talking shit and joking around. So we meshed pretty good together. He's a cool guy.
That's awesome. And then I know too, Jasmine, your teammate, she was at American Top Team. So was that like, how was that? Because I know obviously Chris had to, Prickett, your coach, probably had to go to both gyms, which are kind of rival gyms too, right?
Yeah. It's it was nice, man. I mean, I go down there and I expect to kind of be like on my own for the month, right? Like without any coaches looking after me. But it was nice that Prickett got to come down and come to one of my sessions and just catch up and whatever a little bit.
Yeah, and it sounds like Jazz is going to go back to American Top Team. Do you plan on going back to Sanford after this fight?
Yeah, I think so. I've made a lot of good friends there. The gym's awesome. Again, there's tons of high-level guys. The coaching staff is great. It's like a reasonable distance to drive, which is nice. So yeah, I think I'll be going back down there.
Still driving, huh? That's interesting. How long of a drive is that? I have no idea. I didn't do well in geometry or geography, I should say, when I was in high school.
It's like 21 hours.
Wow. Okay. And your girlfriend go with you this time?
Yeah, she did.
Okay, I was going to say it makes it a little bit easier if you got someone else to go with. Let's talk about your opponent here. 18-2 record. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him here?
Yeah, like you said, 18-2 record. It's pretty stacked. I think he's fought a lot of local shows in Brazil against probably not the highest level of competition, but either way, it's a good record. He's going to be a tough guy. He's had a couple fights in Bellator. I think he's 1-1 in Bellator. It's a good debut matchup, I'd say. I think I match up well against him.
Good stuff. And what about back home? Who have you had a chance to work with as far as bodies in the gym?
Mike Malott, he's training lots at NTT right now, so that's awesome. He's a great training partner for me. And then I kind of have guys that I do like specific work with. So I got a guy here, Stefan, I can't pronounce his last name, but he's a good Muay Thai fighter. He's had like 30-something amateur Muay Thai fights, a few pro fights. So I work with him a lot striking. I have my jiu-jitsu coach, Andre Grambois, good black belt. I do lots of work with him. And then like a lot of wrestlers from the Brock team, like Clayton Pye, who just made his MMA debut. He's like a national level wrestler and he's at my weight. So good wrestling partner for me there.
And it sounds really customized to you, which is great. Like you go down to Sanford, you get to, sort of get to work with the best of the best. And then at home, you got specific guys for every sort of discipline and every sort of thing that you need. How crucial is that? Because again, it's all Team Jeffrey going into this fight.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Like I go down there to kind of see where my skill set's at, see where I'm doing well, see where maybe there's some holes in my games, and then here it can be like very technical work specific, kind of like clean things up and improve my skill set.
Speaking of cleaning things up, your diet, like doing all that traveling, how do you like prep your meals and stuff? Do you just make it ahead of time, keep it in the car? Because, there's a lot of good fast food, I'm sure, on the way in between Florida and going back to Niagara.
I eat a lot of boring shit on the road. I do like boiled eggs, fruits and veggies, and nuts. That's like the staple of my diet while I'm on the road. Maybe like some Cliff Bars and shit here and there. But yeah, it's pretty much that when I'm in the car. Lots of boiled eggs and nuts, and I'm sure I smell really good after that.
Exactly. And how is the cut going? We're coming up here, a few weeks. Sounds like everything's going well.
Dude, it's easy all the time. I kind of eat whatever I want, and I sit around like 200 pounds all the time, and that's pretty much a water cut away from making weight. I'm sure I can make weight like any weekend of the year, basically.
Who's going to be making the trip down there with you? Will Chris be in your corner for this fight?
Yeah, Prickett and Lyndon Whitlock.
Oh, nice. Good to see Lyndon there. One of the best coaches in the game right now, which is awesome. How's this fight playing out on June 24th? I know you feel like you're going to get your hand raised, otherwise why sign the contract, but how do you envision it going down?
I need to get a finish. I want to get a finish in this one. It's been a few fights since I got a finish, so I want to grind this guy down and TKO him.
And I know for a lot of fighters, making that big debut for a big promotion like Bellator, there's some jitters, but how much does that experience on Contender Series and, fighting for CFFC, which is on Fight Pass, like how much does that help sort of leading into this debut?
I think I'm like a pretty even kill guy either way. I mean, like the build-up always feels different, especially like Contender Series. There's tons of media, and you got to go to Vegas and do all that shit. Maybe there's some more interviews here and there, but I mean, once you're in the back warming up, it's all the same shit.
Okay, and have you talked to Scott Coker? I think we talked about this last time about getting a card coming to Canada. May 2014 is the last time they've been in Canada. Have you put a word in their ear or anything?
Not yet, but I heard the UFC was supposed to be coming here, and now they're not. I guess like the COVID stuff has been difficult, so I don't know. It might be tough for the American shows to come here. I don't know.
That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think of that, and I did hear that as well too, which is a bit of a bummer. I was going to say there's a lot of Canadians like yourself. There's Josh Hill who's in there, Mandel Nallo, who else? Randy Field, who's Canadian as well, which is pretty cool. So it's kind of nice that they're bringing on more Canadian talent into Bellator. I'm sure that's a nice part of being with the organization as well.
For sure.
Yeah, because even the UFC, I was just thinking about this morning. They don't have a lot of Canadians right now. At least not when George St. Pierre was there. It seemed like there was a lot more. So.
Yeah, maybe Romero too. I think he's kind of testing the waters with some of the big promotions right now. So maybe we'll see Romero in Bellator one of these days.
Ooh, I hope so. That would be great. What about downtime, man? What's that looking like? Again, you're traveling a lot, reading a lot of books. What have you and the girlfriend been up to?
Yeah, we just got back, so we're kind of just like decompressing and whatever. I didn't see my mom for a few weeks, so I just went home to see her on the weekend back in Tillsonburg. Weather's nice here, man. I haven't been in Canada in warm weather for like over 2 years, because last summer I was gone to Vegas from May till October, so it's like surreal for me now to go outside in like shorts and a t-shirt in Canada. It's nice.
And to be able to do things, you're not having to worry about the police coming out if you're at the park going for a walk, right? So it's all good.
Exactly.
That's great. And just sort of last thing, I imagine, you're getting your debut here. I know it took a bit to get that debut. I imagine if you had it your way, you get, maybe 1-2 more fights in this year, I would imagine.
For sure. 2 would be great.
And also, you look at the middleweight division in Bellator. Here's just a quick example. You got a guy like Johnny Eblen who's fighting Mousasi for the title. You had Austin Vanderford, similar situation, actually very similar to you, and middleweight who, UFC, it didn't work out, and here he is, being a star in Bellator. Realistically, do you look at yourself a couple fights in and you might even be able to get a title shot here because the division's not that deep?
Yeah, I think so. I think after this fight, it's probably going to be ranked opponents for me.
Yeah, so you must be looking forward to that, which is great. Aaron, thanks so much for doing this. We're looking forward to the debut. It is Bellator 282, June 24th. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, and you got the manager shirt there, Ruby Sports. The floor is yours, man.
Yeah, thanks, Ruby, for everything. Thank you, James, for having me on again. Check me out everywhere at AAJ MMA.